In 30 seconds, you will be witness to one of the greatest online events in the history of, well, online events. Descript proudly brings to you a topic that you deeply care about and whose name is the title of this online event. I'm Don. I am not your host. I am an overdub stock voice included for free with Descript. So, now, let's meet someone who actually works here.
I guess I need to unmute before I get started, Kevin. You think I'd have learned this long enough? But great to see you all. Hi, my name's Jack. I work here at Descript with my good friend Kevin. So we're excited to chat with you all today. Kevin, how's it going?
Going pretty well. Yeah. Happy Tuesday.
No better day. So we're excited to talk to all of you today about marketing. We've got a lot of different marketing teams that work with Descript, and Kevin, I think you talk to a lot of our teams as well. Probably one of our most popular workflows, right?
Absolutely, especially with folks that are making a thing, and their organization's making a thing, and they want to put it out to many places and many formats and different platforms. So we make that easy, I would say.
Awesome. Well, that's the hope. So again, excited to chat with you all today. We're going to talk about some different marketing workflows and use cases. So we're going to talk about audio, video, social media, publishing, maybe even using a transcript for a blog or something like that, and much more. So today, if you stick around with us, you're going to get a code for a free month. If you're a new subscriber, you're going to get a link after. Book some time with us. We'd love to hear about your workflows at the end. So we're going to chat a lot about it today, and excited to share with you. So maybe we can start with some introductions. Kevin, I've worked here for a couple of years, but before that, I actually had a background in marketing. Worked for a corporate marketing team, brand assets, blogs, cutting videos, even some podcasts way back before it was easy with Descript. So definitely know a lot of the pressures that these teams are facing. You got to turn things around quickly. You got to get review. You got to get approval. And Descript, I think, makes that really, really easy for teams. So, Kevin, I know you've created a lot of cool stuff in the past too.
Yeah, from the production end, a lot of editing and producing and audio engineering for marketing teams, whether it's podcast or video work, and understand the relationship components for sure and how important those are, and creating a collaborative workflow where everybody gets input when they need to. Yeah.
It's sometimes there can be too many stakeholders who need to provide input, but like I said, hopefully we make it a little easier and a little less painful. But I think one question that I'm curious for the audience, drop a question in the chat. We kind of love to see this, but you're a team that started working on just video, and you've been asked to do something new. I'd love to know kind of what new initiatives you've been working on this year, or what initiatives has Descript enabled you to do if you're an existing team. So is that a podcast that you've started for the first time? Is that doing video for the first time? Is that making your own social media assets? Is that collaborating in Descript and getting rid of some other tools? Would love to know kind of the way you're using it and kind of help us think about some things. So drop those in the chat. We'll have time for questions as well all throughout this. So happy to do that. But we work with some really cool teams like Shopify, teams like Techstars. They're able to turn around these assets really quickly. And I think, Kevin, maybe you've heard this as well, but teams tell me that they're able to now hire people who are more skilled as marketers, and they don't have to focus as much on knowing the editing ins and outs. Is that you can focus on someone's skills as a storyteller, as a producer, as opposed to Descript makes it much easier to learn the tools of the trade.
It's so true. I just had a conversation with a team that we're working with about an hour ago about this exact same thing. It's like they found themselves, since using Descript for the last year, that they're bringing in people that are just fantastic storytellers that didn't have the technical skills surrounding using a video or audio editor, and allow people to come in with their strengths and all get around a table together and make something great, and not be bogged down by technology components or what it's like to work solo in an editor of some kind, which has always been the case for a lot of the main audio and video editors. They can work together, work collaboratively, and level the playing field, which is so fun. It allows you just to be creative and try out new things and build new skills.
Yeah, no, I love that idea of like leveling the playing field. Is like, even if you're a team of 2 people, you can really like punch above your weight class with Descript. It allows you to go into so many different formats. And I think that's a little bit of the way that we're going to talk about things today, is about repurposing and using something over again. It's probably some of the most common questions that we get when we talk to teams. How do I go into a new medium? How do I start a podcast for the first time? And I think stuff like that is where we can really shine, and allows you to focus on the story, not just on the function or the output that you need.
Exactly.
Well, cool. Well, Kevin, we've talked for a few minutes now, and why don't we dive in, get to sharing our screen, talking about some of these ways that we can help marketers power up a little bit, eat that Mario mushroom, and just go to the next level.
Awesome. Let's do it.
And today we're going to be, just so everybody knows, we're going to be demoing the classic version of Descript. Maybe you've been around for a while. Maybe you've noticed we had our own massive marketing event, the launch of Descript Storyboard coming really soon. So I think the thing you'll see here is that we're using the classic version of the app. If you download the app, this is what you'll see today. And in Storyboard, there's going to be some more, even more fine-tuned video support and some awesome things with that. Great stuff for podcasters too. But we'll get to those workflows in a little while. But for now, we're going to show you this. So hopefully it's some good stuff that can carry you through even as you upgrade to Storyboard here pretty soon.
Absolutely.
So
where should we start, Jack? Give me some ideas. What are you thinking? Where should we first jump in? We're starting to work on a collaborative project where we're bringing some media in, and we want to repurpose it and give ourselves some marketing materials.
Yeah. So what are we working with today? We're starting with our own season 3 event. Is that right, Kevin?
That's right. We had our season 3 launch a couple weeks ago. That was recorded and live streamed, and we want to take pieces of that and create some content for social, content for our blog, and a bunch of other places as well.
Awesome. So let's maybe start with, we've got this event that we've brought in and transcribed it. And maybe we just want the first, 10, 15 minutes, just something from this long event, long live stream. Kevin, what's the best way to clip something off and cut down a longer event and grab exactly what I want? Because this is the bit I want to publish for video or for social.
Absolutely. So my idea for the first one that we might want to pull out is we went into a demo portion of where we're going to show off the new version of the app that's coming out in the next few months. And I know that our colleague Lara had introed that. She's the first person to come up. So I'm going to do Command or Control F and find where she introed herself. There it is. Cool. So hi, I'm Lara. It was an awesome section. So I might go and take that first section of the demo, and I'm going to use clip to composition. So I'm going to select the text in the script, and I'm going to use clip to composition by clicking this paperclip up here. And it's going to automatically drop this section that I have highlighted into a new composition. And for those that are newer to Descript, composition is our version of a doc. It's this representation of the media that we brought in through script, timeline, and the video canvas. So if I want to take this section and put it into a new doc, a new composition, I'm going to select the text and click the paperclip here. We'll always give you some nice keyboard shortcuts so you can get quicker and more nimble, but here's clipped composition. It can be dropped into a brand new composition or an existing one if you want, and I'll clip that over. And now what shows up in my project sidebar, the bottom of the list, is the clip that I just dropped in. I can go through, scan through, find some sections, make sure it's looking and feeling how I want, and also rename it if I want to.
Perfect.
Just like that,
So,
I've taken a small section of a larger piece of content and isolated it down to be on its own, so I can edit it and treat it like its own video.
yeah, we've heard that that's like a super common thing that people, maybe they're doing an internal live stream. Maybe you're doing something like this, a big marketing event. You just want to get right to the good part. There's a bunch of different ways to import your content too. I think we didn't even show the drag and drop flow, but we just introduced some new integrations for import with Restream, Squadcast, Riverside Captivate. So 4 different partners there that you can bring something right in, go from wherever else you're doing a live interview or a webinar like this, and get right to the nuts and bolts of what you want. Mm-hmm. So once I'm in here, Kevin, what's next? What can I start to do to either turn this into something for social media or video, or maybe there's other parts I don't need? How can I kind of keep trimming this down?
Absolutely. So in addition to, bringing in media from one of our integration partners for importing, we can start this off. If you want to bring in more media, or that originally I'll bring in, you create a new composition in the sidebar of a project and you just drag and drop your media right into the middle here. You transcribe and import, and what you'll get is that nice looking transcript, timeline, and video canvas. Once that's there, what we just did, we clipped to a composition, which means we took a section and made a new clip out of it. And now it's here on the side. Did that by using the paper clip at the top, clipped a composition. And you can get a little meta here if you want. You could create a new clip from within this one. So you have different versions that maybe trickle down in size depending on the platform, depending on how you're going to be releasing them. If you're going to tease maybe a medium length video with some smaller clips. So you can always continue to pull other pieces out. But if we're here and we have a clip that we want to start manipulating and adding elements to and whatnot, there's a bunch of stuff that I might do. The first, which will also bring us back to the beginning of our workflow before we even thought about bringing anything in, using either the transcription glossary, which we'll talk about in a sec, clicking the Descript D and choosing transcription glossary, and also our correction wizard, or detect transcription errors, which you can see all these green underlines are happening in our script. That's telling us here's some places where we think we got the transcription wrong, perhaps, and we'll review them in a second. The reason why these two things are so important are Descript is a text-based editor, right? So we're using the text to make edits to our media. So anything we take from the text here.
I'm actually working on something for my YouTube channel right now where I explain how to pack a bug out bag.
Say for our short term, we want to just remove this sentence to make it more concise for social. We can delete that sentence, and now
I'm actually working on something for my YouTube channel right now. I've got a rough script, and I even
have a quick jump cut, and we've removed that piece of content just by editing the text, right? That is the beauty and the magic of Descript. In order for us to have a better editing experience, we really want to make sure our transcript is as accurate as possible without spending too much time maybe on getting it exact until we're ready to publish or export. So by using the transcription glossary and using detect transcription errors, I'm able to get a much more accurate transcript, going from 95% accuracy with our auto transcription to 98, 99% by checking for those errors and also making sure that media coming in is transcribed correctly. So check out our great Descript tips page by Laura here. On YouTube, there's a playlist on YouTube for Descript tips, and you can learn more about these specific features. But our transcription glossary allows us to add some keywords and terms that we might not get correct going into Descript with our auto transcription. So names, acronyms, tough terms or words, really great. And then our detect transcription errors. Once we've started it, initiated it, we can run it, and here's what happens.
Hi, I'm Lara, a video producer here at Descript.
If it's correct, you just click return, and it'll bring us to the next one.
Powerful but ungainly timeline editor.
And if it's not correct, you just start typing the correct transcript.
Now, Descript's new concept of
same thing. I'll go to the next one. As we
out here in the transcript. Okay, cool.
Boom.
Context. I'll go over the
So you can go through and you see those green underlines are removed, and we have a much more accurate transcript as we go through that has just less AI auto transcription mistakes.
And we found that this is really huge. A lot of teams have company-specific terms, industry-specific terms. You want to make sure these transcripts are accurate, right? For accessibility purposes, for making sure that your clips on social media, everything is accurate. The great thing about the transcription glossary is you start putting things into that transcription glossary, shared across everybody on your team. And then whenever you bring in a piece of media, either you're importing from one of our partners or you're bringing it in from scratch, it'll make that transcript even that much more accurate. So spend less time correcting the transcript down the road or paying somebody to transcribe it for you. Let AI do that. It's pretty smart now.
Absolutely. In the editing process, the reason I want this transcription to be accurate is, the words and script are more accurate. I can have a much more fine-tuned, accurate editing experience. But also, I'm probably going to add some things like captions. So I'm going to select all the text. I could do that with my mouse if I wanted to, or I could use Command or Control A to select all. And I'm going to use our favorite shortcut, which we call the Conductor, which is Command or Control K. And the Conductor is what we use when we're basically just ready to tell Descript to do something. Search for a timestamp within, insert some type of element, change project access, export, look for anything really. In this case, I did Command or Control A to select all the text, and now I'm going to use Command or Control K for the Conductor and type in captions. Insert what we call fancy captions, and now we have, just with 2 keyboard strokes, captions that we can drop in wherever we like. And by selecting them in the canvas or in the timeline, we can also change their components. So if I have a font that's brand specific, I can either find it in our list or import it from my computer or from Google Fonts. I can change all the components of the font color and fill. Word level animation has a nice follow along marker with playhead color. It's really, really awesome.
So Kevin, I'd use this for like a social media ad or like a Facebook ad or something like that. Why would I want to add captions? Why is this so important?
So incredibly important. So just accessibility is so many videos online now are watched without sound, right? So whether someone is choosing to do that and watch them that way, or someone that is in a community or is unable to hear and wants to be able to access these great videos that you're making. So using captions always burned into videos for me and a lot of projects that we've been working on is not relying on some of the auto-generated subtitles that are popping up on some of these platforms, just having captions that look and feel like the organization or the company, and that are always going to be there and always going to show up in the ways that you want. So I can edit my video and design my video so that the captions are part of it rather than an add-on that happens later from some auto-generated piece. So you can change the size of your canvas if you want to, and have some captions that look really nice, have their own space. Maybe we're going to change the size or orientation of the video as well, and have captions look a certain way in our video that just work perfectly for this content. So for me, it's just creative control. Yeah.
So Kevin, if I want to resize this, this is a portrait. This is going to be somebody watching on Instagram or on TikTok or something like that. How do I resize this? How do I change the size of the text, what if I have a brand font that I want to use? How do I make this more my own?
Absolutely. So you select the element that you want to change. If you're thinking about the color, the font, anything like that, I'm selecting the text here. I'm going to the clip inspector in the top right-hand corner, and I can change those easily. It's the same thing if I've brought in a photo or B-roll video. It's the same if I've added maybe a shape, rectangle or ellipses or something to help make the video pop a little bit more. And then for the overall dimension and orientation of the video, we have this great little window here that'll pop up. And you can change the orientation. It's the top right-hand corner of the canvas. And so if you're going to Instagram Reels, TikTok, anywhere like that, you might be going with portrait. If you're going LinkedIn or Instagram proper, perhaps landscape or square. And it really just gives you all the control of how things are going to look in your video. As I play through, you'll also get to see it all in action.
Takes, but that's no problem. I can just edit those out here in the transcript. Okay, cool. Now I'm ready to start breaking this whole thing down into scenes. Over this part of the script for
just adding that little element of the word level animation down here already makes it so much easier to follow along while Lara's walking through 3D Script. So check out all those options in the sidebar.
What if I want to add a progress bar? You know, I'm following along. I'm watching on mute. Those progress bars help me cue in. How do I do that?
Absolutely. Same thing as we did before, right? We decided we wanted captions to last for the whole video. So we selected all the text, Command or Control A, and then we use the conductor, Command or Control K, to pull up a progress bar. Just like our captions, we're going to select the element and then go into our clip inspector on the side here and choose a fill or maybe a shadow, stroke, and also the style. If you want it to be a bar or a ring that completes a circle or a pie that has a circle filled that completes, all options there. These are great. I mean, we all love a video and when we know how long it's going to last without having to look at the timing on it. So the progress bar makes that very obvious and very clear. And a nice little addition to the video.
Ben like to do that in a conventional timeline editor.
Same thing as our captions down there. I'm going to select that and I can change the fill color, change the background color, and have those be hex or RGB if we need to have branded colors on any of this stuff.
What about what other elements are available to me? The waveform I know is a popular one for audiograms. We've got some built-in audiograms, but what else can I kind of keep doing to make this again more my own?
Absolutely. Big thing is going to be our logos, right? We want a company logo. So on my computer, I'm going to open up. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to open up my Finder, and which you can't see in my screen share, unfortunately, but I have my folder here of all of our company assets, and one of them is an image of our logo. So I'm going to pull in the Descript logo, and maybe I want that to last just for that beginning portion, then I'll have it fade out, just to give it a nice pro clean look. So I'm going to drag and drop my image file, which is the Descript logo right here, full size image. I can resize it in the canvas super easily. It's all visual, just like our favorite visual editors, and decide where I want it to go. Let's give this a look from the top.
Hi, I'm Lara, a video producer here at Descript. Since I was a child, I've been making videos on powerful but ungainly timeline editors. Now, Descript's new concept of scenes is
cool. So now I'm going down into the timeline. This is where you can decide, okay, first, am I going to be working in timeline very often? For me, that's a yes, because I just love timeline work. I'm used to it. But if not, you can also move your elements around in the script. So let's check this out. I'm gonna remove the timeline. Collapse it.
Descript. Since I was a child, I've been making videos on powerful but ungainly timeline editors. Now,
boom, that's where I want the logo to come in. So I'm gonna select can grab this pin, which is our Descript logo, and I'm going to drag it to enter right after the word timeline editors. And I can also adjust the length of it too. So if I want it to be out by maybe after my gear unpacking, I can adjust that boundary right there. And I could also add a fade out. So you can add fade outs in the timeline by clicking and dragging these little tabs, which is super easy. You can also do it up here in the transition inspector. So I can create a video transition, which will give me a fade out because I selected the later part of our element by clicking this column right here. If I wanted to fade in, I would inspect the beginning transition here, click that, and add a fade in. And now,
timeline editors. Now, Descript's new concept of scenes is changing the way that I make
you can see that logo faded in right there. Maybe I want to reposition and check the fade out real quick.
B-roll of my gear and packing.
Cool, looking pretty good.
Kevin, what kind of transition options are available for me? And maybe this leads to what else is coming in Storyboard?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the things that makes storyboards so exciting. Currently in Descript, we have fade outs, crossfades, fade ins. We also have cues built in, which are great if you're clicking an element either in the timeline or in the script. You can add a cue. So a cue right here. We have kitchen sink, zoom and pan, and dissolve video. I use zoom and pan all the time. Just basically, I will decide where I want something to start and where I want it to move, whether that's going to increase or decrease in size, or if it's just going to move across the screen or move off the screen. I'll use that so often. But in Storyboard, we have a really cool list of transitions that are going to be coming, as well as different video effects and green screen down the road and AI generated background removal. Check out descript.com/storyboard to watch our intro video and to see the list of all that really great stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, super cool. A bunch of stuff that's going to power up these workflows even more. Where should we go next, Kevin? Should we talk a little bit about, now we've kind of worked through what we want. We've made our video clip. We've made our audio clip, whatever it might be. How about getting review and approval? What's the best way for us to collaborate inside of Descript, either as a team or with people who aren't on our team?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two ways to really unlock collaboration from the beginning. And one of them, you can check out our Descript 101 course too if you want to learn more about this. It's on YouTube. But going back, perfect. Give me one sec.
While we're refreshing, we do have a poll. What marketing assets are you most interested in creating? What are you looking to make with Descript? Would love to know more about kind of the way you're using it. It'll help us create more materials for you, especially as we got new stuff coming out. So let me know in the poll the way you're planning on using Descript. And we'll make sure we share the most valuable resources for you. We love doing these webinars, but I love to kind of push out more stuff, publish it on YouTube. I think our Descript tips are super helpful for that if you go to our YouTube channel. So that's another thing I would point people to as an option.
Absolutely.
Kevin's focused. He's getting us back into the right place. So.
I'm getting you back in. Wouldn't be live unless we ran into a little funky issue.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna
reshare this guy.
Okay.
And we'll just open this project. So the first component of collaboration we want to talk about is adding folks to your drive. So you can add collaborators as a basic member, which is just anybody who needs to review what we're working on, so they can listen and view projects, compositions, and they can drop in comments. They can't edit, they can't import, transcribe, and most of the exporting features are not available to them as well. So that's awesome feedback and approval. But when we're ready to work with someone that might want to also edit, you might be adding them as an editor on your seat, an editor on your drive. It's an editor seat. So those are the two ways that you're going to add folks to your drive. But you also might be sharing this out by using project access. So project access, by clicking the share button, can be managed here. And you can add folks using their email. You can also change the access within the drive. And if you want to do it, you can add folks to your drive just right here by dropping their email and deciding that basic or editor seat. I'm not the drive owner of this drive, so that's why I can't see this editor access. But if you're the drive owner of your drive, you can add folks as an editor. Once they're added in to the project or to your drive, you have a bunch of really cool options. So we can drop in some comments. You can select some text, click the comment button at the top here, and leave some comments. So maybe I'm working with Jack on this edit. I'm going to tag Jack. Jack has the Slack integration set up, so he's going to get a Slack notification right now after I tag him, as well as an email notification. And drop in this comment. Create a little thread if we need to communicate on what's going on, but be able to really review some of these comments as they're dropped in super quickly. As you have a couple more comments dropped, one of the little key features with review and collaboration that I use all the time is once you have a few, if you click the comment sidebar right here, you get a list of these comments. Oh, thanks, Jack. And you can click them and it'll bring you right to that comment. Discuss, review, whatever you need to do, make the edit, make the change. When you're ready, you just archive that comment, removes it from the list, and you can click the next one to navigate down, just like that. I use this all the time.
I think this is really helpful. Being able to tag somebody, point them exactly to the piece of content that they need to see. That's so helpful. And like I said, you can invite your whole team for free with our basic seats. So that really is where I found a lot of people, you don't have to publish something out. You don't have to put it in a different place. It can just be right in your editor. You can have these conversations. You don't have to put it into a Google Doc and then maybe they have to watch and give you time codes or something like that. It's just right there. Helps you really cut to the chase. And I know that's the way all of our professional teams seem to be using it. What about, Kevin, one option what we talk to teams about is our publish pages. How would I want to use a publish page for commenting and collaboration?
Yeah, great question. So as we get into publishing, basically we're thinking about when we want something to live outside of Descript. The really common answer to that is if I'm working with someone on my team or an outside collaborator, or maybe we have a fact checker of some kind, we may be working with someone who just isn't going to open Descript. They're maybe less adapt to new technology, or it's just not part of the wheelhouse and of their requirements of the role. It is totally fine. We make it easy to collaborate with everybody in the team, whether they're in the app or outside. So if I can use a publish page here, I'm going to click publish at the top. This is going to give me a web version of this composition. So I have a link that I can share with folks. I can have comments on or off, transcript on or off, rename it if I need to. And after I publish, I'm given this link that I can just email or Slack or send over through Microsoft Teams, whatever I use. Just a web URL that will pull up a web version of our composition. Let me copy this and I'll share that screen with you. What we get is this really great looking web player. And the web player is got the same look and feel as Descript. It's got playback.
I'm actually working on something for my YouTube channel.
And the follow along marker as we're going. And the best part is that the person could just have a free Descript account, be a member of the Drive if you make a private link here. But if it's an unlisted link, they can access it. Anybody could access it as long as you send them the link. If they have a free Descript account of any kind, they can just drop in some comments. Same thing, tag you, see the list of folks that are on the team, and continue work and give feedback that way. They're also awesome. After you have your completely finished piece of media, you can publish it, click share, and actually copy and embed code even, and put on your website or your company's intranet or video player, or whatever it might be, and have a nice embedded version of this video with video here, playback, and the script, which is also searchable if you're like looking for a section.
I was going to say, this is huge for internal communications. So let's say we've got an internal webinar, our CEO is giving a presentation or something like this, internal training and learning as well. That kind of workflow really helps a lot. Just be able to embed that transcript so it's accessible, embed that video. You can turn the captions on and off so I can watch on silent if I want. But that's one of our most popular workflows as well. I know the Shopify team uses it for that when they broadcast an employee event. The ability to bring that into their internal learning systems is really, really helpful.
So great.
Kevin, should we talk about publishing? And we talked about published pages. And I think this is a great example for, maybe you want to bring somebody into the editor. Maybe you want to leave somebody on a little different surface area. You don't want them messing around in your composition. But what happens when I'm done, when I'm ready to publish to where I want to get this to go?
Yeah, great question. So our hub for any way we want to get things out of Descript is going to be in our share menu at the top. So clicking share, that pulls up that project access link that we saw before, project access window. And if you navigate over to export right next to it, we have a bunch of different options. So let's start at the bottom because we'll end up with our cloud export. The bottom here, we have timeline export. That's if you're working with an editor who might be in one of these tools. If you're doing any motion graphics, or just working with a folk in your team or someone that's maybe a freelancer that works in one of these and is comfortable there. We have a non-destructive timeline export option where you can take all of your edits and assembly and everything you've done in Descript and put it over to any of these pro apps here. Also, export as a file. So you can export as a text file, subtitles, great for YouTube, SRT, VTT files, audio only, video, and GIFs. Finally, getting up to our cloud export, we have page, which we discussed. Those are published pages. We have audiograms, which we have some really simple to use stock audiogram templates that look and feel like that classic audiogram look. Really helpful, low lift. You can go straight to YouTube, straight to your YouTube page. You can also publish to a bunch of different publishing partners of ours. So all the ones that are options right here, Buzzsprout, eWebinar, Restream, Wistia, we're using a video, obviously. This is a video project that we have open. So these are all of the publishing partners that allow the import and publishing of video straight from Descript. If I'm working on a video only project, I would have a bunch of these open as well.
Yeah, also the publish to Wistia are really popular for marketing teams. That one really easy to go all the way from what you want right onto your website. Those can be embedded really easily. I also like the file export. So many people talk about what a pain it is to make subtitles with just one click to get those SRTs and VTTs out. Or maybe we didn't talk about this early enough, but you bring something in, it's an interview. Maybe you want to use it as a blog post or something like that. You can go to that text export and easily turn that into a Word document or something else to give you that text out from the interview that you've done. A lot of options there as well.
So many. Awesome.
Kevin, one thing we hadn't touched on yet, but might be worth some time. Our screen recording tool, I think, is also really a good thing to talk about with collaboration as well. what are some ways that you see teams do that, or what are some ways that you see our marketing teams leverage the screen recorder?
Absolutely. Well, the first one that might be not as obvious, a lot of folks are coming to Descript thinking about it as a media creation and editing production tool, is using the screen recorder for communication. So screen recording has been, I don't know, my crusade this year of just trying to write fewer emails. Like, I love walking folks through something with a screen recording, or just talking and being able to have it be in my own voice and my own pace. So I'll often create a screen recording, and we do it. Jack and I do it together all the time. We're trying to explain something. We're maybe working on a presentation together or a project, and we're walking through some feedback that we're giving each other. And I'll just pull up our screen recorder, walk through that feedback so it makes more sense and he has the context, and it pairs that kind of like written approach, which sometimes can be lost in translation, or some nuance can be lost, with how I am actually approaching that feedback, so Jack can hear it in my voice and what I'm actually meaning. And it's quick, it's easy, it's accessible, like everything in Descript. And it creates a publish page automatically for us, so we can do a quick screen recording and share that publish page out so you can watch it at your own time.
Yeah, I think also too, if you're creating a product demo video, one of the most powerful marketing workflows that I've seen, and maybe Kevin, we can kind of show around this a little bit, combining our screen recorder with Overdub. So the ability to record something and then keep that evergreen by using Overdub. So you've got whatever you've recorded, maybe it all needs to be in the same brand voice. That's great with Overdub. Maybe you've got to make training materials. You can create those with Overdub. And I think it allows you to just use that script, keep it living all the way until you're ready to publish, so you can keep making changes in there. So that I think is a really cool workflow, either for customized sales ads or making sure that your materials are up to date, because we all know a product can change all the time.
So true. Should we check it out?
Especially at Descript, yeah. Yeah, let's take a look.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna share my screen. I got a pretty large monitor, so hopefully that looks okay. So there's two ways to create a screen recording. One is back in the app, and you're in your drive view, you click new to create a new project. Also screen recording and camera recording there. But I use the dock icon all the time. So the dock icon here, click the Descript D, and here's our options. So with screen recording, you have these inputs. You can have your camera up. I can have my little camera window here, which looks great. Change the input if I need to. Change the shape, size, all that. I'll also have my audio input, and if I want to record my computer sound or not. I always have transcription enabled in case someone wants to read through the transcript. And for the most part, I always use Studio Sound too. Studio Sound, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out our Descript tips on our YouTube page for Studio Sound to learn more about it. But it is our voice enhancement feature. It takes background noise out, room reflections and reverb, and makes you sound nice and close to the microphone, adding a little bit of warmth. So I start my screen recording. I'm ready to walk through this edit with Jack, and we're not in the same room. I'm here. I'm going to give him some async screen recording. So I press start. I choose the selection of my screen if I want to. I can resize it, move it around. And I'm going to start that recording. So I'm recording. All right, here we go. Hey, Jack. So let me just talk you through some of this feedback here. I'm thinking we should have the intro be a little bit shorter, Let me know if you feel the same way, but check out the other comments and let's get this done by later today if it sounds good to you. All right, see you later. So I'm transcribing this. Our script is going to pop up in our quick editor here, and I'm actually going to be able to remove filler words with one click, making any edits if I need to, with selecting of text and using delete. And then I'm going to see here, publish and copy link, and I'm just going to send that to Jack real quick. So this is the communication kind of workflow, but it's the same workflow if I'm making something, right? If I'm making a product demo or I have a video on my computer that I want to use, I don't want to download the whole thing. I can just use a screen recorder, capture a selection of it, talk through it if I want to, not if I don't. And here's what I got. So I'm going to, for the communication piece, I'm going to remove these filler words. You can see those pop up there, blue underline. I'm going to click remove. It's going to pull those out just like that. And I also just kind of mumbled through this beginning. So I want to start with, hey, Jack. I'm going to select this other stuff that I said at the beginning and just delete it. And now I have this. Hey, Jack. So let me just talk you through some of this feedback here. I'm thinking we should, cool. See, there's a little pause right there. I'm going to take that pause out by changing word gap through some of this feedback here. I'm thinking we should have the intro be a little bit shorter. Cool. I'm happy with this. I'm going to publish, copy the link. You can also do it without editing it for sure. But this is going to pop up. We can review it if we need to, but it's copied to my clipboard. So I'm just going to go to Slack and send this to Jack really quick.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of different ways to use this tool. And maybe you're using a transcription tool. Maybe you're using Google Docs. Maybe you're using a screen recorder. Maybe you're using all these editors. And the fact that you can kind of all do it in one just helps keep your workflow that much more streamlined too. Because like you said, Kevin, we send these messages back and forth all the time. And it just makes it so much easier to speak with your face, your own words. There's no misunderstanding what someone says. There's no, the nasty grams. Never there would ever be between Kevin and I. But no, it's just one of those great ways, like we said, to get feedback that much more quickly between teams, between commenting, screen recording, publishing those pages. You can work so much more quickly and save yourself so much time and efficiency of task switching between tools as well. Because I know that can be a big drag for teams, especially in marketing when you got to use so many different platforms already.
So true. So true.
Well, cool. We got a few minutes left, Kevin. What else do we need to show people, or what have we missed so far, or what other questions can we get to? What's jumping out to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna go ahead and share Descript again real quick. So one of those things is, we produced this video pretty high quality. Shout out to Lara and Tiff on our video team. They made a really awesome video, highly produced, sounds great, looks great. So things like studio sound aren't going to apply to that. We did that beforehand when we were putting it together before the live stream. But if I did bring in other media that maybe could benefit from studio sound, I'm really quickly going to do that. I'm going to go into project files and right click one of those and apply studio sound. Easy as that. And you can adjust it and dial it in after. Just to help your video, your audio just be more professional, sound cleaner, get rid of some of that background noise. A lot of us are working from home or recording in office spaces that maybe have loud heating or cooling units or people in the background, dogs in the background. It's going to help out so much. So that's the way to get to studio sound. The other thing I wanted to mention is our wrench icon up here. This has just a few of my favorite tools in Descript. We have shorten word gaps, which allows us to take moments of silence and shorten them. So I can find anything that's longer than a certain amount of time and reduce it down to whatever time that I want. So I can say anything longer than a couple seconds or 1 second. I'm going to remove that and make it 1 second. So the longest pause, if I use these settings, would be 1 second in this video. That would shorten a nice video, make it more concise, save us time, keep the listener captivated as we're going. Back to the wrench icon, removing filler words. You saw that at the beginning of my screen recording after I finished, where it was just one button to remove. If we have a project open and we're working on a larger production or a piece of content, removing filler words is quick and accurate. So we have that accurate transcription. We can choose all of the words that we want to remove. It's going to give us a list of them here. There's a lot. It was a live stream, And we can choose to delete them or ignore them, and it'll remove all of those from our video or audio, whatever we're working on. So helpful. I really love using ignore because it will strike it out in the transcript, and we'll be able to see what that looks like. So if I have a struck out filler word here, why is that? Okay. Sorry. If I have a struck out filler word here, I'm having some trouble clicking this. All right, there we are. That was struck out, or maybe one of those was, there we go, there's a like filler word. That was struck out, I could play it.
We've been working on it for 9 months and getting...
I'd say, actually, that's really important in this part. That's filler word that I want to bring back. I can see that edit that I made and just unignore it by clicking unignore here, or toggle that on and off if I want to try that edit out again. Which obviously he said, it's our CEO, Andrew.
We've been working on it for like 9 months and getting it done.
It's pretty key for that piece of dialogue or that piece of monologue. So I'm going to bring that back in just like that. So we did shorten word gaps, remove filler words, copying of highlights, huge for podcasters, or if you're pulling selects, you can drop in some highlights using our highlight tool. Copy highlights, you can use all of them or just one of the colors, and it'll copy it to your clipboard, and you can pull all those highlighted selections into a different composition and paste them in, which is awesome. And then we also talked about detect transcription errors. So these 4 features right here will get you ahead so far just by going up to this wrench icon and navigating through.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of power hidden on that toolbar that, between the Conductor, you can jump to a bunch of these tools. And I think that's the one thing. If you learn anything about Descript today, it's Conductor, Command K, Control K. Press that button, type in what you're looking for. We'll probably have something like it. Here's how to remove filler words, how to jump to a marker. Here's how to jump to a different composition. One of my favorite tricks is that you can just type in a time and it'll jump you to that timestamp. So if I want to jump to, exactly 1 minute, 23 seconds, that's really easy. And I think there's just some cool stuff that you can start to do with all those. Speed up your workflow.
That's right.
Kevin, we got 5 minutes left. Should we do a little lightning round of some quick questions?
Let's do it. Love it.
Okay, first and most important question. What kind of mic are you using? The fans want to know.
Oh, nice. This is a Shure 87C condenser microphone from our friends at Shure. It's a great mic. I use it for all kinds of stuff, both for music and recording and for podcasting. But then I just have it running through a simple PreSonus interface right into my computer. It's always been great.
Okay, next question. How do I change the video resolution when I'm exporting?
Ooh, awesome question. So we're ready to export, going up to Share, Export, and Video. In this menu, we'll have the format, audio format, and then video dimensions and quality. So you can change the dimensions here, depending on what you're shooting your video in, and also the quality if you need it to be lower quality for a specific platform.
How do I create a lower? Oh, are we still working on this? Or
the last thing I would say is I want to reiterate, if you're changing the orientation when you're editing, however, that's going to be in the top right of your video canvas. Click video settings and you can change the orientation of the edit that you're working on. Important there.
Yeah, that makes it super easy to go to another social platform when you export out.
Yep.
And you can even do really pro things like change the frame rate. So how do I create a lower third? What we showed captions. How do I create a graphic that I built from scratch?
Cool. Great question. Let's do it. So here you go. Hi, I'm Laura.
Hi, I'm Lara, a video producer here at...
We created that motion graphic outside of Descript. Say you want one to jump in.
Colleague Andrew L. to discuss.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lazowski, a senior engineer here at
We're going to cover that one. We don't like that. We're going to add a new one. So creating a lower third is pretty simple. You can do just text, obviously, by selecting some section of text, using Command or Control K, and dropping in text. Maybe we want to also add a rectangle. So I'm going to use Command or Control K to drop in a rectangle. It's going to default to my last settings, which I made a large white rectangle. So I'm going to resize that, get it looking good, put it where I want it to go. Boom, just like that. Now I'm also going to create some text. So I'm going to select in my timeline or in my script how long I want that to last. I'll do Command or Control K, drop in some text. Oh, there it is. Change the fill. We'll go with our blue. What do we call him? Andrew L, right? And we can resize just like that. In addition to this, we might want to add some animation to these, which we talked about with cues, which you can add here and do a zoom and pan and have it come on and then off screen if you like.
Or add the fades, have it fade in and fade out, just like we did with the logo earlier.
Absolutely. Yep. Add those fades for sure.
What about if I wanted to add some different music? How do I bring that in? Where do I pin that?
So easy. Just like we've dropped in any element from outside of Descript, if we're bringing in a logo or a video B-roll, we're just going to drag and drop it right onto the area where we want to put it. So
Over this part of the script, for example,
I want to bring in some video here, or some music. Again, go to my Finder. I have a little music library on my computer, and I'll just drag and drop my music file either entirely where I want it to go, or if I want it to auto cut and only play a portion of that music, which is really great, I can select the script, drop in my file right on top of that selection, and you can see it auto cuts. So that file is cut off, it's cut short. If I wanted to extend it, I could always do that by hovering in the timeline or up here in the script by clicking and dragging that boundary. Boom, 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 boom. I could add a nice little fade again. And I have this.
script. Breaking this whole thing down into scenes. Over this part of the script, for example, I know I want to include some shots of me using my WorkPro 14-inch steel blade bolt cutters. So I just add slashes. And you can see the scenes have appeared here.
Cool. You can select that pin also and adjust the volume like I just did in the clip inspector right here.
Awesome. All right, Kevin, we're now at the top of the hour. You want to take one more question, then we'll sign off?
Let's do it.
All right. I see a question here about using Descript like a teleprompter. And I want to see if there's a way that we can talk about this really cool replace script track feature that we've been working on. Maybe you're well equipped to explain it, because I think it's kind of wild.
It is. It's only our version 1 of it too. So there's more that's going to come in the future to expand this concept. So we're right, Jack. We're talking about writing some script and then recording over that script.
Yep.
Cool. So let's get some script. You can just type right into Descript. That there. Maybe I've dropped in a logo as well, or I've started to kind of script and outline things that are going to be included in this video. So I'll put my Descript logo back in there. This is video now, and I could also maybe drop it in some captions. Those will be there once I have audio. I can also add to this as I need. So if I've recorded any of this, if I'm doing audio only, I could just do it right in this project. I can create a new line and just record right in. Hello, my name is Kevin, and I'm the product specialist at Descript. Welcome to the show. That's going to transcribe for me, just like that. So cool. I want to see if this... Right, so I'm going to make that edit real quick. Products. And I'm the product specialist. Awesome. And now what I'm going to do is copy, and I'm going to paste special. I made a little edit to clean up the recording that I did, and I'm going to paste special and replace script track. And what it's going to do, it's going to keep all of my pins intact and in line. So if I had one that was actually the Descript logo showed up right there, do the same thing. I'm going to copy, paste special, and it's going to keep that Descript logo exactly where I put it, but replace the scripting with my actual audio. Hello, my name is Kevin, and I'm the product specialist. Kevin, and I'm the product specialist. Boom, just like that. So you can really start to, for lack of a better word, storyboard out your edit with scripting and adding different elements, images, B-roll video, all that stuff. Copy the recording that you want to bring in, paste special, and use replace script track. This will also work for video if you want to. So you script it all out. You go up to our screen recorder and you record a camera recording instead of a screen recording, and copy and paste that text right over and it'll come out looking great.
Yeah, I think it's totally crazy, but a neat way to use this like a teleprompter. You can write everything out, record what you want, put it exactly in the right place, and leave all your pins and everything appropriate. All right, Kevin, I think we've hit the end of our window here. So just wanted to thank everybody for joining, but also wanted to do some quick plugs. One, for our support chat. So if you're ever looking for help, help.descript.com is a great place to start. Again, look through our help center. We've got a ton of great documentation there available to help you if you run into a technical problem, or just to talk through a workflow or figure something out. There's some great examples that exist through there as well. You can create a support ticket if something broke or something isn't working quite right. I would also say there's live chat down in the bottom of the app, bottom right. Click on that question mark icon in the bottom right, and then hit chat with us, and then you'll be able to talk directly to a product help center specialist. So that's super helpful. One other thing too, if you're looking for other like workflow questions or cool stuff, join our Discord. Awesome community. We've got like 5,000 people in there, just like constantly asking questions, sharing their workflows, showing off cool stuff that they made. Honestly, it's kind of inspiring. I mean, Kevin, I know I take a look at there every day.
Mm-hmm. I know friends that have gotten gigs there too for the For Hire channel. Again, if you're looking for a freelancer or you're a freelancer yourself, check that out. So
good way to like find the right person, and they know Descript if they're in our Discord. So grab that link right there. That'll send you the invite. We always love to see people join. Finally, we got a free month available for you for showing up, for hanging out. Enter this code PROMARKETING at checkout. If you're a new user, get a free month of Descript, test it out, put it through its paces, see how awesome it is and how much more awesome it's going to become when Storyboard rolls out here in a little while. So, yeah. Kevin, anything else I missed or anything else before we sign off?
No, Jack, thanks for being the host with the most. And shout out to Christiana, Isabel, Laura, and Marcelo backstage helping out and making this thing happen.
Yeah, our behind the scenes team is the people who make us look smart. So thanks to all of you. Yeah. And thanks to you, our fans, for showing up. So thanks, Kevin. And we'll chat again soon. Thanks, everybody.
All right. See you soon.